for me, neither of the films evoked a certain nostalgia or a romantic notion of the city. But I was wondering if you would look at the first film differently, one being from that city, and this whole the worker in the city, the discussion in the city, the ghats, the production, the procession, the Durga, or what is your response to that film from within this film? It was just a question that sort of pulled us out of your film, which I have lots of questions, but I just thought I'd begin with this.
There's a lot of Tagore's legacy in this film, like the characters, what they're talking about, the cultural, background to these people, despite their economic. I mean, they don't belong to such rich families. Maybe they were at some point of time, but no longer now. But there's a great legacy of education and cultural heritage. You see within this family and the people that they interact with. You see in the previous film also there is a lot of references to that. So just wanted to connect that with Surabhi's film.
So if you imagine the conditions under which the first film was made, 1960, film is very expensive. Very few people can do it. Chidananda Dasgupta was, Satyajit Ray's friend, and they founded the Film Society, Aparna Sen's father, and they probably had this precious budget to do a 20-minute film. And, they chose to do this sort of impressionist work to actually make a documentary that would follow someone's life like I did would have been just undoable, too expensive. It just wasn't possible in that time. So I see that as an impressionistic film. It's like a photographer's a kind of a moving image, vision of Calcutta, and there's a lot of abstraction in it and nice shots in it, and some references that they were cleverly able to do of some certain literary figures. And it's sort of, that was the limitation of that time for that kind of film, I think. As far as the Tagore aspect goes, see, I think if you want to pay tribute to Tagore, there's no point in making a movie about his life or reenacting something. What I wanted to do was, it wasn't conscious, because it came up naturally, is, okay, so what is his legacy in how society was transformed and how people thought and how education happened and what people were discussing and arguing. And that's the remnant of whatever radical thoughts he had, visions for change he had, and you shouldn't quote him necessarily.